A prankster got on TV in Portugal and told women to go to their windows topless and receive a free mammogram by satellite. It was all a big joke, of course. This lady is one of the many who did. So she's looking up in the sky waiting to get a mammogram. My name is Bill Anthony, and I've lived here in Westbeth for 50 years. Let me tell you about my style. A long time ago, I was teaching a figure drawing class, and the students made these terrible mistakes. Like here on this picture here, the head is too large, the arms and legs are too small, the elbows and knees are indented instead of having, well, you have a kneecap there. And some of my students actually invented a elbow cap. So I put all these boo-boos together, and I put that all together and made a how to draw book. And that was published and sold very well. It was published here in New York by Crown, and then in England. This is after an American artist, Lucas Samaras, and he liked to pose in these crazy positions. Actually, he's holding a bike instead of a motorcycle, but I made him a little more daring there. Bike and a chair, and that is exactly as he was standing. And here we have a picture after one of the paintings by Joseph Albers, my teacher, and he would make a square with a very simple color, and I've added the face of the girl, again drawn as well, all the boo-boos. Eye too small, everything's generally too small, except the nose is too long. I had an easy job. I taught classes at senior centers, and I didn't have to give grades. There were just a lot of nice people, and they were not large classes, and they weren't ambitious. They just wanted somebody to help them along as they did a little painting for their grandkids. So it was just an easy job and a city job, New York City job. That is after a 1940s greeting card, and it says, "You're the cream in my coffee," and I thought that was fun to make a parody of. I see something that should be satirized, and I do a drawing, and I usually do a few drawings, and then I pick out the best one, and then I make a painting. Or sometimes I don't make a painting. Sometimes I leave it as a drawing. Here's Hitler saying, "I am sorry." And here's some of the World War II action down here. In the original Watteau, the musicians are being appreciated by the people in the background, but here I've changed it so that the people in behind they can't stand the music. I do a lot of satires of Warhol. I used to do magazine illustrations for Warhol's magazine. So anyway, I've done a lot of Warhol. This is after Liechtenstein. Matter of fact, he lived right across the street, and he was a friend of mine. And anyway, I did a lot of Liechtenstein satires, and he did a blurb for my book, as did Warhol. This is a label from the Museum of Modern Art regarding a painting by Ad Reinhardt. And it says, "The color of the squares are so subtle that it may take a few moments before the eye can discern them." And I thought that was pretentious and silly, and I didn't like the painting. So actually I swiped the label right off the wall, and it was a long time ago, more than 50 years ago. And as it said, "Always forgiven, the Museum of Modern Art." I thought it was funny, and later they exhibited this picture here. So I was exonerated. It's important because it does, some people couldn't do so much work if it weren't for Westbeth. And then there are a lot of people like a dancer that was a great dancer for a while. I can think of a couple of them that they no longer can dance much, but at least they have a place to live until they die, and that's nice for them. Me, I'm going to keep on painting until I die, so I don't have that problem. And this is after the French artist Boucher. Does very flowery mythology. And in a way, it's inspired by Tintoretto. Tintoretto liked a lot of strong diagonal things. These are all reproductions of things that are in one of my books. he was probably born around 1890, something like that. And he was associated with the German Expressionists. And he lived in Westbeth. His name was Ted Fried. This is after a show in Germany, in Nazi Germany, putting down the German Expressionists as terrible artists. And these are people that the Nazis hired to stand in front of the show, making fun of it, so people would know that it's to be made fun of. So these guys are making fun of the art. He started in Hungary, and then he moved to Germany, then to England, and he moved all over, which he said damaged his career. And he wound up here in New York, and lived in Westbeth, probably moving in around 1970, and lived here 10 years before he died. But he was in Hitler's show of terrible art, of Nazi art, and he was a friend. This is a drawing I did for Andy Warhol's magazine. It was for Warhol, but it was a little bit after Rauschenberg.